I'm Chris Dunphy.
And I'm Shree Viard.
And we are of RVmobileinternet.com
and Technomadia.com.
So we've been on the road since April 2006. That's over 8 years living nonstop.
And we not only live on the road, we work on the road. We're software developers, app advisors, writers, authors, tech consultants. We get hired for a lot of interesting stuff, and all of it requires us being online.
Which means mobile internet is essential, not just to our work life, but to our social life, to our planning our travels, to staying in touch with family, absolutely everything. We consider mobile internet essential.
It's one of those amenities that our RVs need on the road. We need water, we need sewer, we need electricity, and we need internet.
Most important, internet.
That one is probably one of the most important amenities that we need on the road. And this video that we've prepared is an overview of the mobile internet options, some of the ones that we've discovered and rely on ourselves. We'll go over the options, we'll give you a little bit of information about what works, what doesn't. And if you need more information, we have written a book on it. It's the Mobile Internet Handbook. It's 234 pages that goes into a lot more details on mobile internet on the road. And we'll hope you also join us over at RVmobileinternet.com to keep up with the latest information in mobile internet. Traveling and keeping mobile internet is not going to be quite as easy as just plugging in a cable or a DSL line like you might be used to in a home-based connection.
Not nearly so simple.
Mobile internet has a lot of variabilities to it. You're going to be battling signal strength, your speed, data caps, costs, and not everything works in everywhere you want to go.
And we all have very, very different needs too around just how important and how essential being online every single day is. So if you can go check in once a week, once every few days, that's a very different set of requirements than somebody who has to be online every single day to get work done.
So yeah, if you're relying on internet to get work done, you're going to need a lot more internet. And
a lot more options.
And really the key to surviving mobile internet on the road, if you really do need a lot of it, is having multiple options to get online. So more than likely, you're going to be assembling an arsenal of different solutions.
Now, your arsenal will range from things like Cellular, which uses the cell phone network and works over a very wide range.
Public Wi-Fi hotspots, which you might find at campgrounds, breweries, we like those.
Even McDonald's and Starbucks and stuff. But Wi-Fi has a very short range compared to Cellular, so you have to be near the hotspot to connect.
And then there's also satellite internet, which was a great option many years ago. And we'll go into more of that later.
Satellite, the exact opposite, is incredibly long range. As long as you can see the southern sky, you can get online, but it comes with a lot of limitations.
But you're going to have to choose which of these makes the most sense in your arsenal based upon your travel style, your needs to be online, and your budget as well. So we're going to go over each of these really briefly and give you an overview of them so that you can decide which ones make the most sense for you.
The primary way a lot of us get online is using a cellular internet connection. Now, you probably know what cellular is. You have it in your pocket.
So you're probably familiar with cell phones, using calls. You're no longer tied to a landline. You'll probably also use a little bit of data already on your phones. Maybe you're surfing the web a little bit, checking email on your device. Cellular connections can also be used, though, to get your computers online.
Yes, so there's a thing called creating a personal hotspot that most cell phone devices support that you can, if your plan enables it, you could turn on and your cell phone becomes a Wi-Fi hotspot that makes a signal that 5 other devices, 10 other devices, everything nearby can connect to and also get online and share that cellular connection.
Right. Or if you don't want to use a smartphone, you can also get a mobile hotspot device, also called a MiFi or a Jetpack. This one's from Verizon, this one's from AT&T. These are dedicated to just serving mobile internet, cellular to your computers and other devices.
So rather than have your phone doing double duty, so if you, like one person in the household walks down the street, suddenly your computer's offline, you have this dedicated little box that is creating a hotspot all the time, sharing your cellular data bucket. Now, what's this bucket business?
So there's different plans that the carriers offer, and a lot of them you buy a bucket of data that all of your devices share. Now, the thing that you're going to quickly realize as you get into cellular internet is it is a pretty pricey option. It's not like going to be cheap like a cable or a DSL line where you're paying 60, 70 bucks a month. Yeah. To actually get a usable amount of data, you're going to be paying some pretty big bucks. It's going to be capped by usage.
And it depends what you're doing with your data. So things like emails don't take up much data at all. But things like watching video burn through the data faster than you could imagine. So you might, go watch your $2 movie and have $20 worth of data burned up in the process. So you got to
Or
be very
more.
careful to understand what is using how much data and what your limits are and monitor them.
So cellular, some of the great things about it, it's gotten incredibly fast in the past few years, and it's just getting faster and better. The networks are deploying cellular towers all over the country, even in some very remote areas. It's not too uncommon anymore to find an area where you can't get online with cellular.
Right. So there are 4 major nationwide networks, the cellular networks. Verizon is by far the largest, AT&T is close behind, and then a big step down to T-Mobile and Sprint, but in urban areas they have great coverage.
You're probably going to find that if you need mobile internet and you rely on it, you're probably going to want to choose 2 at least to have in your arsenal to be able to tap into. Sometimes you just get to a place where one carrier excels over the other, or one might be having a tower issue.
And
or
sometimes they just get congested.
You get to an RV park with a whole bunch of other RVers who are wanting to do FaceTime video chats with their family back home, or they're streaming video, watching a TV series or something like that online. And suddenly you find that your Verizon connection might slow down a lot, but your AT&T one can get online. So we do recommend that if you're going to choose 2, Verizon and AT&T make a really great complement to each other.
Combination.
But there's other options that you can go with. You can also do a T-Mobile or a Sprint in there because they do offer some very competitive plans, especially if you're staying in more urban areas. So your signal can vary quite a bit on cellular. It could be dependent upon where you're parked, where the tower is in relation to your location. There could be obstacles in between the way. There might be a building or another tall RV.
And every carrier has their towers in different places too. So if one's got a good signal, another one might have a bad signal. But there are ways that you can work on improving your signal.
One of the other things that can impact your signal is the construction of your RV. If you have a lot of metal built into your RV, that can actually block signal. And just having an antenna on the roof can help a lot.
Yes. And if an antenna alone is not enough, then there are things, a cellular booster. So here's a Wilson Mobile 4G. It's one of the better all-around 4G boosters. Here is the small and simple version, the Wilson Sleek 4G. The key with boosters is to find ones that support your carrier and support the frequencies that you want. So in this day and age for mobile internet, you want an LTE booster that supports the 4G frequencies, not just the old 3G and 2G.
So these work pretty simply. You have an antenna that goes on the roof, a wire that comes into each of these, and then this one will boost 1 device at a time. This one can boost up to 4 devices at a time. They give a boost to your devices so that you can keep a more solid signal, and it also gives more reach to the tower that you're trying to connect with so that your signal is a little bit better. It can take a weak signal and make it stronger, but it can't do anything about there being no signal.
Yes, can't work miracles. Another one of the primary ways people get online is via Wi-Fi, which hopefully most of you are familiar with. It is a short-range networking technology that's been built into most gadgets, most laptops, most computers over the last many years.
So a Wi-Fi connection works by there is a backhaul. So that might be a cable connection, DSL. It could be cellular. It could be satellite. And then that is transmitted to being a Wi-Fi signal.
A Wi-Fi hotspot.
So a lot of these are offered for free or by pay by restaurants, cafes, libraries, breweries, and RV parks.
Yes. So quite a few RV parks have added free Wi-Fi, but unfortunately most of them have added very meager Wi-Fi that is in some cases actually really not even worth trying.
So there's several complications with an RV park Wi-Fi system. There are some that work out there, and we do encounter them every so often, so this isn't a ding on all RV parks, but you will find that they are rare, that you find a really well working functioning one. Because there's several components that have to go into it. Number one, the backhaul coming into it has to be sufficient to support 100+ people at the same time. So they have to have a lot of bandwidth coming in to their park. Then they have to have a robust system that gets it out there.
Then they have to have enough antennas scattered around the park and enough transmitters and such. So it's a major investment for an RV park to do Wi-Fi right, and a lot of them do just the bare minimum. So it might be worthwhile for checking your email, but particularly if you get online in the evening when everybody's trying to get online, you're not going to be able to surf the web happily. You're not going to be able to stream videos. And a lot of them will actually even ban you or block you from streaming videos.
So those are some of the complications. We find Wi-Fi works best for us when we're what we call driveway surfing with friends and family. So they have a private Wi-Fi network, and then we're able to get their password and get online, and then we can use their Wi-Fi. Sometimes you can go into a parking lot. You might be able to get some Wi-Fi from a business that's offering it as an open source. Do support the businesses that you use Wi-Fi from, though. However, they are meant for their customers.
Right. So it's like there's Starbucks, Panera, McDonald's, Lowe's. A lot of places offer Wi-Fi to their customers. Sometimes the connections are really great. Sometimes they're not. They're very, very hit or miss. But one real key limitation of Wi-Fi is it is intended to be a short-range technology. But if you are out in a parking lot or you're far away from the RV office, you're going to have a really hard time getting a good signal.
So a lot of Wi-Fi networks are really meant for you to take your laptop or tablet device to the Wi-Fi hotspot. They're not really being designed to mind. A lot of us want to use our devices in our RVs, in our homes, and be able to surf from the comfort of our home. We might want to be in our pajamas and surf.
Particularly when you're at an RV park. You want to have the Wi-Fi in your house, not up at the front office. So this is where Wi-Fi extension gear comes in. Things that pull the signal in and rebroadcast it inside your Wi-Fi.
Right. So the antenna that might be in your laptop or your tablet may not be strong enough to reach a further away hotspot that's broadcasting. So there's some simple solutions like what you're holding here.
One of the simplest is just a Wi-Fi repeating system where you'll have one antenna in the window and one set up either plugged directly into your computer or set up inside your RV that rebroadcasts the signal inside. So simple, fairly cheap to put together.
This is like under $100 to put there's other solutions out there by Jeffitech, and Belkin have some solutions as well. So for under about $100, you can get a very simple solution. This isn't going to work miracles. You're not going to be pulling in Wi-Fi for miles away with something like this, but it can improve the situation over your laptop. Now, what can work miracles with?
Slightly more miracles.
More miracle working.
is getting something permanently mounted on your roof.
So there's antennas that you can put up. This is the Wi-Fi Ranger Sky. It's got a pretty strong antenna inside of it. It mounts flat to the roof. It can pull in Wi-Fi from further afar. They have another one that they call the Mobile Tie that is taller and a little bit stronger of antenna. You can go really big.
Get
this
bigger antennas that don't even fit into the frame. So if you've got to be careful of when you mount something like this that you don't have it shear off by tree branches. You need a way to retract it and raise it. But this would be the Wi-Fi Ranger Marine. We call it Excalibur.
They're also they have a version called the XT now that they offer, and they can be mounted into their Mobile Tie solution. This one's going to get you a really, really far away range. Wi-Fi is going to be dependent upon line of sight. So this isn't going to be able to go through a building
or a neighboring RV rig. But if you get over the top of them, suddenly you can get a good Wi-Fi signal from the front office.
Right. Now they feed into what is called a Wi-Fi as WAN device. These are devices that can take a Wi-Fi signal and then rebroadcast it as Wi-Fi within your RV so that your devices can utilize that signal. And there's several different solutions out there. There's some by Wi-Fi Ranger. This is the Go. That goes with it. It is a router. You can have other devices connected into it as well. And then it can also plug in cellular sources like a mobile hotspot or a phone.
And so this works really great as becoming the hub for all your connectivity. If you've got a cellular connection, you just tell the Wi-Fi Ranger, connect to cellular. If you've got Wi-Fi, you say connect to Wi-Fi. And then all your devices, gadgets, laptops, talk to the Wi-Fi Ranger so you don't have to reconfigure them everywhere you go.
Right, and they also offer a lot of data management tools inside. So if you need to regulate how much bandwidth that you're using or how much you're giving out to different devices, there's a lot of services inside of the Wi-Fi Ranger firmware that helps with that sort of stuff. Another option, this one is by Pepwave. It's the Surf Soho, and it does a similar functionality to the Wi-Fi Ranger. You can see it's a little bit bigger. It's also cheaper as well. So a lot of people choose this one to save money, but they both can plug into exterior antennas that can bring in the Wi-Fi into your rig and help you utilize Wi-Fi hotspots if you find them. Just remember, they can't work miracles. They're not going to turn a bad Wi-Fi network into a good one.
The key is if you have a bad signal, if you walk up to the RV park office, no amount of technology is going to make that better in your rig.
In a galaxy far, far away, there used to be the way that most RVers got online was by satellite internet. There was a dish that they put on top of their RV or a tripod mount system that they put in front of their RV.
and they can get online anywhere they could see the southern sky. And in the era before there was widespread cell phone networks, this was great and this was wonderful. But as cell phone networks have spread, the satellite companies have had trouble competing. There's been no reason for them to invest more in the RV market because it's a smaller and smaller number of people who are in further and further remote places that are able to use satellite.
But there are some advantages to satellite internet. Like Chris said, anywhere you can get a southern sky line of sight with the satellite, you can get online. This could mean crossing borders, so it's a great option if you're going into Mexico or Canada. There's satellites that you can subscribe to that will get you online. If you're going way out in the boonies, away from cellular signals and Wi-Fi hotspots, it's a great option. It's also something that goes with you. It's not, it's something that's going to be working in a parking lot. It's going to be working in an RV park or out in the boonies.
Right. The catch is, though, that if there is a cellular signal, the cellular is almost always going to give you a better experience than satellite. Satellite signals are persnickety to set up. You're aiming at something that's 26,000 miles away. They're slow. There is a delay, so anytime you type on something interactive, there's a pause before you see your fingers. You see the results of what you're typing.
It's going to be a fine connection for email, basic surfing, maybe getting some banking done and routing done. It's not going to be ideal if you're doing anything with video, phone, if you're trying to do voice over IP. A lot of the things that the modern internet has grown up to be in the last couple of years aren't going to be as supportable over a satellite internet connection. Right. Now, you're going to see some advertisements from new home-based satellite options for rural customers, advertisements for really high speeds. These are not mobile solutions. A lot of the satellite industry has gone to what we call spot beam technology.
So rather than a one signal covering the entire country, which is great because you could travel anywhere, they now have tiny little antenna spots that might only be 50, 100 miles across, that the much stronger signal for that small area. But if you roam out of that, well, your dish is no longer subscribed to the satellite. So these services, A, they're very, very tricky to aim and must be installed professionally, and B, well, as soon as you leave your home zone, they do not work anymore, and there's nothing you can do about it. So satellite, where they've gone for still home consumers, has gone completely different direction than works for mobile right now.
Right, and so if you're going to do a mobile satellite setup, you're going to have to be shopping older technology. You're going to be searching for used equipment. You're also, a lot of the companies that supported this, like Motosat, they've gone out of business. There are a couple companies out there that still do assist. They they bring together a bunch, they buy up the old equipment and refurbish it and sell it, and they can help you get a plan. Getting HughesNet and Starband to activate a new mobile setup, it can be a little tricky. So if this is an option you're considering, make sure you do research and you be prepared to be a little self-sufficient with it.
So the glory days of satellite are over. They might come again. There's new future technologies that are promising. But right now, satellite is really only appropriate for people who absolutely know that they need it. In addition to just the cellular, Wi-Fi, and satellite, there are a few other alternative options for getting online.
So just because you are a mobile traveler doesn't mean you have to rely on mobile internet. If you stay at places in like RV parks or mobile home parks, and you stay there for more than a few weeks at a time, you can sometimes have the cable company actually come out and install cable internet right at your site.
So imagine a full, giant, fast connection that is unlimited, no data caps, none of those limitations that you have to worry about with all the other mobile solutions, is wonderful for a month or two while you're stopped.
Yeah, you're going to have to look into the cable company if they offer a short-term solution or if they're going to require contracts or equipment purchases. But in a lot of places, especially those that cater to seasonal folks like snowbird areas, they do have this as an option, and it is a great option.
Now, another option is when you are out and traveling, what we call the driveway surfing, is connecting to friends and families' networks and networks of the places you're going to.
Right. If you've got friends and family that have places that don't have anti-RV ordinances, sometimes you can park in their driveway in front of their street, or if they have land, and then you can utilize their Wi-Fi. We like that a lot. We get good friends, and we get fast Wi-Fi.
Great connections, and we chime in and chip into their connection budget.
And as you're traveling, if you need to get online, you got some work to get accomplished, or you have a conference call or something like that, there are co-working spaces in a lot of areas which are are, just like they sound like, it's an office space that's put aside, and sometimes you can get a day pass to them,
Yes.
or even a month pass or a weekly pass.
So you're renting an office, you're renting a chair, a desk, and just by the hour. And if you need to get some work done, well, that is an awesome option.
And they usually have really fast Wi-Fi and internet connections there for their customers.
And then there are more esoteric ways to get online. There's if you're doing non-commercial stuff and you're into geeky things, you can do ham radio internet and get internet over very, very long distances. There's also a few very low bandwidth satellite things that if you're just interested in doing basic emails back and forth, you can...
Or getting an emergency alert out.
An emergency alert out. If you're actually, there's little things designed for short text messaging from anywhere in the world. Even while you're out hiking in the high Sierras, you can do quick satellite text messaging. So there's other options out there depending on how you think things through.
So this has been a brief overview of mobile internet options for RVers who are based in the U.S. Obviously, we can't cover everything in a short video like this, but we have written a book on it, the Mobile Internet Handbook. You can get it at rvmobileinternet.com/book. It's 235 4-pages print. We do offer it in PDF, Kindle, and iBooks, and it goes into much more details on each of these options, even goes further into installation, managing your bandwidth on the road, entertainment options, some international travel tips, and a bunch of more information about navigating mobile internet as an RVer.
Cool. Thank you very much for joining us.
And please do check in at rvmobileinternet.com periodically. We do keep up on the news there so that you can know what new announcements and news industry things might impact you as an RVer.